Tonight on News 5 Live, a shooting incident in Belize City after a night of partying at Thirsty Thursday. The Deputy Mayor Michael Godin, along with 2 others, are detained, pending an investigation. The Princess Royal Youth Hostel is renamed, and independent slate is elected at Doublehead Cabbage. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Applying for a Social Security sickness benefit? Here's what you need to know. A complete claims package include 1. Sickness claim form fully completed by the claimant and medical doctor. 2. Salaries record form completed by the employer or HR representative. 3. Proof of bank account such as bank book, online banking, or statement displaying your name and account number. To submit via email, you need to take a clear photo or scan of the documents and email to claims@socialsecurity.org.bz. Be sure to include your full name, social security number, and benefit type in the subject line of the email. Or you can drop off all completed forms into the Dropbox slot at the nearest branch office. Deadline to submit is 14 days from your first day of illness. All forms are available on the website at www.socialsecurity.org.bz. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Digifans, the 2022 Belize Telephone Directory is now available. Pick up your free copy at any Digistore and ENR branches countrywide. Check out our cellular, residential, and Yellow Page listings. It's the most complete guide in Belize. You can also access the directory on the go by downloading the free Find Yellow mobile app from the Google Play and Apple Store. For more info, log on to www.findyellow.com. The 2022 Belize Telephone Directory. Get your copy today.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, May 16th. I am Sabrina Daly. Multiple shots were fired in the vicinity of Newtown Barracks in the early hours of Saturday morning, leaving a 20-year-old Belize City resident with a graze to the neck. It happened after a night of partying on the entertainment strip, and the incident involved Deputy Mayor Michael Godin and his entourage. According to eyewitnesses, an exchange of words led to shots being fired from Godin's vehicle and shots being returned by a traffic warden. This morning, both shooters were arraigned on charges related to altercation. News 5's Isani Kayatano reports.
Deputy Mayor Micah Goodin and 3 other men were involved in a shooting incident over the weekend in Belize City. The councillor got into a row with a traffic warden and his friends on Newtown Barracks after a night on the entertainment strip. Upon driving away from the scene, someone inside the sports utility vehicle, driven by Goodin, drew a firearm and discharged the weapon. Police Commissioner Chester Williams.
On Saturday morning after midnight, police responded to information of shots fired in the vicinity of Thursdays, that's in Belize City. The police investigation revealed that there may have been some altercation or misunderstanding between 2 groups of persons who were socializing at this establishment. And during the event, Micah Gooding may have intervened to quell the dispute between the parties. And he got into his vehicle along with 2 other persons and drove off.
Those individuals are identified as 25-year-old Tariq James and 20-year-old Tay Medina. While leaving the area, James reportedly fired several shots from his pistol. It is not clear, however, whether the weapon was discharged in the air or in Tillett's direction. In response, he produced a licensed firearm and took aim at the vehicle. 4 shots found their mark on the SUV.
1 person who was inside the vehicle got a bullet grazed to the neck. That person was transported to the Carl Hushner Memorial Hospital, where he was treated and subsequently released. Police have since detained Micah Gooding, Tyreek James, and Kenyon Tillett. Tillett is a traffic warden. Tyreek James is an employee of the Belize City Council. And as you have rightly said, Micah Gooding being the Belize City Council's deputy mayor. They were detained for the investigation of that particular incident until the police could have ascertained exactly what transpired.
Eventually, it was determined that Goodin was in the clear and was released from police custody. His passenger, on the other hand, remained in detention along with Tillett, pending criminal charges related to the incident.
At the end of the investigation, Tillett was charged for aggravated assault, wounding, and discharging firearm in public. Tyreek James was charged for discharging firearm in public. The investigation did not reveal that Micah Gooding was involved in the shooting incident, and so he was released after 36 hours in custody.
Nonetheless, weapons belonging to all 3 men have been confiscated, and ballistic analyses will be conducted to determine which firearms were actually fired.
I have also directed OCCIB to submit to my office a report on the incident, and I am going to write all 3 license holders to show reasons why their firearm license should not be revoked.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Kayatano.
Earlier today, News 5 spoke with an eyewitness who was present at the time of the incident. He was in the company of Kenyon Tillett and several others and alleges that they were approached by Goodin and his friends. He recounts off camera how the incident on Newtown Barracks unfolded.
Upon leaving the club of Thursday, my group and I, we proceeded to our vehicle, and we are approached by an individual in a black Nissan Rogue, and for some reason an altercation started, and I wasn't on the scene for more than 5 seconds before a gun was pushed through the window and fired in our direction. 2 shots were fired, and returning fire came from our side, you know. And from what I have seen, or from what I've experienced, I know for a fact that we didn't escalate the situation at all.
The initial shots were fired from the vehicle that the deputy mayor was driving, correct? What happened at that point?
At that point, the driver of the black Nissan Rogue, while the person in the back seat was, you know, shooting the shots, we returned fire, and at that point the driver sped off.
What happened thereafter, though? The police got involved. What took place at that point? So the shots were exchanged, the vehicle sped off. What happened? Who called police? How were you guys approached afterwards?
Okay. At that point, we fled the scene as well, and we came home, and we were approached by the police, and we were told that there was a report being made against us. And from there on, we were escorted to the police station, and at that point, only the reports of the opposing side, for lack of a better term, only their reports were taken. We had more than 5 witnesses from our side that was willing and able to give a report, and we weren't granted the opportunity to give a report on the situation.
While details of the incident have been disclosed by the Belize Police Department, as well as persons who were on the scene of the shooting, an investigation is underway to determine whether the 3 men involved were consuming alcohol at the establishment. According to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, if the men are found to have been drinking prior to the incident, it is grounds for the revocation of their firearm licenses.
Going to a nightclub or a bar and drink and having your firearm on your person is an offense, and it goes clearly against what is expected of a licensed firearms holder. And so if it is that there is any evidence to suggest that these persons were consuming alcohol and had their weapons on them, that should be sufficient grounds to have their license revoked. And once that is the case, I certainly will ensure that their license are revoked. And so that is where the matter is at this time. The 2 individuals charged are expected to appear before the court this morning, and it is then going to be a matter for the court to decide. One might question, why charge for discharging firearm in public? The reason why we did that is because obviously the 2 parties are in dialogue and are hoping to settle the matter between themselves. So they might go to the court this morning and say, we don't want nothing against each other. And the court may withdraw the complaint. But when it comes to the discharging firearm in public, that's a matter for the police. They cannot withdraw that complaint. So that will be a matter that will be left in the courts, and then the police are the complainant in that particular incident.
There was another shooting incident in Belize City that has left 1 man recovering from a gunshot wound to the left leg. Steve Farrell was near the intersections of Central American Boulevard and Niels Penn Road near 88 Shopping Center when he came under attack by someone who fired multiple shots in his direction. Assistant Superintendent Fitzroy Yearwood, the Communications Director for the Belize Police Department, provided additional details on what transpired on Sunday night.
We had a reported shooting incident at corner of Central American Boulevard and Penn Road last night, where one Steve Farrell, 21 years, was shot in the leg, left leg, and left ankle We have since detained Michael Gladden of Antelope Street extension area, pending charges of use of deadly means of harm, dangerous harm, discharging a firearm, and other related charges. He is presently detained due to quick police response. He was apprehended minutes after the incident occurred, a little after 8 last night.
Any motive?
Well, at this time, I cannot say we have an open motive, but I know that the investigators have now been granted access to record a statement from Mr. Farrell. So that will be done, or should be done by now.
A woman claims police brutality after an altercation with an officer leaves her with a broken collarbone. Details when we return.
Get ready. Universal Hardware is doing it again with a mega sale in Belize City from May 19th to May 21st. Enjoy deep discounts on Leaf Fan motorcycles, Echo chainsaws, Shindaiwa brush cutters, Makita power tools, Easy Care paint, Calif flooring, Toolcraft hand tools, Sankey AC units, and much more. Grand raffle on May 21st. Don't miss out. Universal Hardware, the preferred solutions provider.
Necesitas un proveedor de servicio móvil que te permita estar conectado con una cobertura LTE rápida y confiable en cualquier instante y desde cualquier lugar. ¿Quieres hablar con tu familia? ¿Compartir tus experiencias con alguien especial? ¿Administrar tu pequeña empresa? Para todo lo que necesites te mereces la mejor experiencia móvil. Ahora puedes hacer mucho más con los planes de datos postpago aumentados de Digi. Puedes disfrutar de 8 gigas de datos en cualquier instante por tan solo $55 mensuales. O puedes compartir hasta 120 gigas con 6 de tus amigos más cercanos. Estos son más datos LTE para que disfrutes durante el día, por las noches y los fines de semana sin restricciones. Disfruta a lo máximo con más datos para llamadas y mensajes ilimitados en todos los planes postpago de Digi. Visita la tienda Digi más cercana para inscribirte hoy. Solo necesitas una identificación válida y un comprobante de domicilio. Únete a la red de mayor velocidad y cobertura en Belice. Para más información visita nuestra página web www.livedigi.com o envíanos un mensaje a través de WhatsApp o Facebook. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Se garantiza que todo paciente que llega a quirófano está libre de COVID y durante su periodo de recuperación no va a tener contacto con un paciente infectado.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
As the leader of this country, I'm delighted to be a part of the 2022 census. Much has happened in Belize over the past 12 years. And the pandemic of the past 2 years has impacted our nation in ways yet to be seen. As we seek to build a more prosperous future and build our people's lives, information that helps us understand these changes will be a vital tool for planning and monitoring progress. If we want to create a Belize that works for everyone, we must have credible data that includes everyone. The 2022 census will inform us of who we are as a people, where we are today, and assist us in preparing for where we want to be in the years to come. Let us all take part in this critical exercise. Count me in.
Welcome to Design Depot, all in one place. Shop brands you know and trust, like Kohler. Welcome, GE Appliances.
Welcome,
Oran Windows.
Welcome.
Tiles from around the world.
Welcome.
Sherwin-Williams Paint and Coating. Visit us today at mile 3 on the Philip Golson Highway or call us at 223-3768. Design Depot. All in one place.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Tonight, a woman from Ladyville is breaking her silence about a case of police brutality. Denise Pitts says that she was slammed to the ground by a police officer who had responded to a fight at a bar in Belize City. While Pitts says she was not involved in the altercation, she asked to return inside, but the officer refused and would later throw her to the ground, fracturing her collarbone. The 34-year-old ended up in a surgery to repair the broken bone and is now out of work. News 5 spoke to Pitts today, who recounted what happened.
Where there was a incident, a fight, and the trooper pulled up with some officer to take out the crowd of the fight. I was also taken out of the club, but was not involved in the fight. On my way back in the club, I asked the officer to enter back. He didn't want me to enter back because he said I was causing problems to them, and I want to know how am I doing that. While I was there asking him that, there was two young ladies came out the club. I do not know them. One of them grabbed me at the throat, called me the B word. I politely moved her hand because I didn't see anything of it. I asked the officer why she did do this, but he no respond. Then at the same time, the other young lady slapped me. When she slapped me, I did react, but I didn't get the time to react because at the same time, I was slammed to the ground by the officer. Off guard, he grabbed me and he slammed me. Instantly, I feel my arms started hurt. So while I tried to get up, my friend said, come and pick me up. And I asked the officer, why you did this? He couldn't answer me. So I still want to know why. Because right now, I can't move my hand. I out of work for 3 months. I have screwing on my hand, back and forth to the doctor, but the bone is lapped over each other. So that's what the doctor told me before, it needs surgery because it does not break right, so it break and lap. So I went, didn't trust the doctor here, so I went all the way to Cashew, Dalamanus. And when I went there, the doctor checked up my x-ray for me and he told me this definitely needs surgery. He don't know why the doctors in Belize will told me that it will not need surgery because it will never heal like that.
Pitts, a mother of 4, paid over $5,000 for surgery, where she says that the procedure involved using a screw to join the broken bone. She wants justice and needs assistance because she will be out of work for the next 3 months. It's a most horrific experience, which Pitts says was a night of enjoyment gone terribly wrong.
3 months, and they went to make my report to the police station. They told me that they will look into it because it's going to be a long investigation.
Do you know who the officer was that did this to you?
I do not know him by the name, but if I do see him, I can identify the officer. And that's all I'm asking for the help because right now I got 4 children, 2 that I'm taking care of and 2 that is mine by birth. And I can't help my kids if I'm out of a job. And just one night of enjoyment turned out into this. And I don't know what else I could do because I just need the help. I just want the officer to try to speed up this because they know exactly, I know they could find out that who was in that trooper that night, that mobile, and find out who was working. And they could make I identify this officer so I could get whatever he taken from me. because this was I call it unfair, because it was off guard. He didn't have to slam me like that.
Were you fighting or obstructing?
That is the thing. I was not doing anything to this officer, but asking him why I'm not allowed to go back in when I was not involved in the fight.
Pitt says that the surgery will allow for a speedy healing process, but maintains that she wants justice. Friday's eloquent speeches in the House of Representatives after Minister of Human Development Dolores Balderramos Garcia presented the paper recommending that the late Nora Parham be granted a posthumous pardon were all well received in the public domain. But we asked the minister, when we caught up with her at an event on Sunday, what protects the present-day Nora Parhams from enduring the same fate. This was her response.
That is what happened back in 1963, that there was no such thing as a battered woman syndrome defense then, you know, and that is what is so sad, and that we need to correct 59 years later. We're not going to change everything overnight, Marion, because we still have some very severe cases of domestic violence. But I would just like to say that because we are shining the spotlight, as I put it, because you know there is something called the Spotlight Initiative, where the European Union and our United Nations partners are helping us with a big project to fight domestic violence in civil society and in government institutions. Because we have that awareness now, the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence in November into December, those kinds of activities and that kind of awareness tells us that we would like that the Nora Parham situation never happens again. And I think Honorable Tracy Tager put it very eloquently in the House. And I was very, very pleased that we were absolutely united on this issue in the House on Friday. With the kinds of defense attorneys that we have these days, and the spotlight having been shined on the issue of domestic violence, then those defenses will definitely come to the forefront now. The court can appoint a criminal defense attorney in capital cases, as we call them.
Is that any different now from what Ms. Parham faced back then?
Very different, very different.
She was not afforded...
Well, there was a defense attorney. I believe the defense attorney at the time was named McKinstry. But because there was no awareness of the battered women syndrome and the issues of self-defense when it comes to battered women. And you see, we were in a colonial administration. This man was a policeman. And by the way, she had left him several times and went back, you know. Like I said, the whole story needs to be told. Yeah. You know, I can't stand here and say she didn't light the match, but all indications are that it was he who accidentally lit himself on fire. It's so very unfortunate, but she should not have had to pay the price for the ultimate price for having been a victim of such horrendous violence.
It has been criticized for the restrictive and deplorable living conditions under which its residents live. The institution has even previously dealt with allegations of sexual harassment. Then in 2015, a horrific fire swept through one of the buildings, killing 3 girls who were trapped inside. So needless to say, the public outcry for an overhauling of the Princess Royal Youth Hostel has been consistent over the years. Now, under a new legal framework governing how the former Princess Royal Youth Hostel is managed, the facility was renamed on Sunday to reflect a place of hope for the youth that subsequently passed through there. News 5's Marion Ali was present for the official unveiling and filed this report.
1, 2, 3!
The renaming of the Princess Royal Youth Hostel as the New Beginnings Youth Development Center serves, as its new name implies, a better stay away from home for the 11 girls and 16 boys who reside at the facility. The official renaming ceremony was aptly timed to coincide with Sunday's International Day of the Family. The new name originated from right within the facility in the person of Devion Dougal, a resident himself, whose family approved our use of this excerpt from his presentation.
We cannot allow our negativity to hold us back, but to be the foundation that we build upon to make us better and stronger. Yes, we all make mistakes, but the word new beginning brings to light that we are no longer looking in the rearview mirror, but straight ahead.
Looking ahead, the rebranding calls for nurturing, caregiving services and schooling for the youths rather than a boot camp approach to their custodial stay at the institution.
The first time I came here, the security person at the gate had a big handcuffs coming down from his belt. And I walked up to him and I said, please hide the handcuffs. This is not a prison. It is no longer a certified institution, which signifies that you're punishing children for being rude and bad and disorderly and uncontrollable and petty offenses before the law. So we repealed the Certified Institutions Act, and we are now naming, and by law, this facility to be a residential care facility.
In tandem with the new charter, there's been a whole shift in the development aspect of the youths, according to the institution's program coordinator, Annie Palacio, and that has to do with both vocational and academic development.
They tell us, we want to do agriculture. We want to do livestock. We want to learn skills. We want to be entrepreneurs. And we gave that to them. They grow their own vegetables that they use to cook in the kitchen. We have livestock that they grow, that they took care of, pigs. They have chickens. They even have skill trade over the other side of the building where we are at the Ministry of Youth. So they learn different ways of like cementing and different type of skills training. And they also go to school. They want to go to school. And so we get them into school. They were online when COVID was still on. Our children were either online or we have a class here. We do have a teacher here that literally teaches them as if they're in the classroom. So they are here getting everything if they were outside, along with a lot of character building.
Part of the transition over the past 20 months included major investments in infrastructural upgrades as well, according to the Minister of Human Development, Dolores Balaramos Garcia.
Within the last year and 4 months, we did major renovations to the bathrooms, to the living area. We made significant changes. We got plumbers in here, electricians, we put in a new pump, we even have hot water now. And the children have flush toilet, they have hot water to bathe, and there have been significant improvements. We even donated a larger television for the children, and the children were minded TV.
Balaramos Garcia readily concedes that there is still room for improvement, but she says that is where the effort now lies to help the youths reintegrate back into society. At the heart of that effort is opening halfway houses for the young residents who leave.
In the Orange Walk, what we try to do is have like a halfway house situation where, as you're 18, they don't just put you on the street. We try to follow up with some of the cases, and we have had some very successful interventions and also outcomes. So we haven't gotten there yet entirely, but we're trying throughout the country for the people who transition out that we will do some follow-up. And remember, we don't necessarily keep them here until the age of 18. That's what we're trying to get away from. This facility is only when absolutely necessary and for the shortest period of time.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
The former Princess Royal Youth Hostel was an institution that was neglected for years, with its bathroom in need of urgent plumbing repairs and its residents making attempts every few months to break out from the facility. On one occasion, in the wake of the fire that claimed the lives of 3 of the girls, another attempted to take her life. The staff was found to be culpable for not following protocol in several instances. But with a new charter and a new name, the New Beginnings Youth Development Center is, as it is now known, promises to be a ray of hope for Belize's most socially challenged youth. While significant investments have been made and changes have begun to upgrade the product, One area where the government is now focusing is the caliber of people it hires to work at the facility. Minister of Human Development, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, under whose close watch the center operates, told News 5 at the renaming ceremony for the center that there is zero tolerance for any staff member whose integrity is brought into question and against whom there is evidence beyond a doubt.
I can tell you we made a start, because some allegations were there indeed. And we have zero tolerance, Marion. And I want to signal, once I am at the head of this ministry, we will signal zero tolerance. And we have already taken very stringent action in 3 cases already. I will not call names, but there is going to be zero tolerance. And I think that is why you see such a new aura, a new feeling, because we have people here that we can trust.
After the break, Doublehead Cabbage goes independent as a non-aligned slate forms the new village council. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
The People's United Party thanks all Belizeans for their support and confidence in us through a difficult time. Without your resilience and unbeatable spirit, we would have been unable to keep delivering on Plan Belize. As we conduct village council elections across the country, we ask for your continued support. In just a year and a half, together we have worked hard to rebuild our nation. You have seen the work in all your communities: streets, roads, infrastructure, housing, education, health, agriculture, employment, and so many other areas. This is a government that is serious and committed. In a year and a half, we have done so much together. Let us continue on this strong record. Forward together. We will continue to deliver on Plan Belize.
The government of Belize has been blazing a trail and delivering on every milestone of its tax reform program. Iris Belize was launched in 2021 and its second phase is here in 2022. It provides taxpayers and or their representatives with the ability to sign up for Iris Belize. You'll now be able to inquire, file, and pay online. This means that tax clients like you are able to sign up online and get access to individual and companies' tax accounts. No more long lines. Contactless, safe, prompt support from the privacy and safety of your homes and offices.
What if the profits of your bank were shared equally with you instead of with unknown shareholders and large corporations? What if those profits remained in Belize to enrich the communities where we live? What if just having an account with your bank meant that you were now a part owner of that bank? What if your voice mattered and you had a say in how your bank is being run? What if your bank was always looking out for your best interests and its biggest goal was to see you succeed? That's what it means to be part of a credit union where all of our members are in this together. Communities work best when they work for each other. Cooperation strengthens us all. Discover the credit union difference and find out just how stronger we can be together.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. Diginet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. Diginet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Village council elections are underway, and while the two major political parties are claiming wins in various communities, in Doublehead Cabbage, a group of 7 residents ran on an independent slate and won. DHC Independent 7 wants to bring the village back to a family-oriented, fun community through teamwork and without political interference. Today, News 5 spoke with the newly elected chairman, Roman Makaluk.
I am super happy about that, because the reason why, because I believe what I've said from before, that I don't really believe that government should be involved in the village council, because that is the reason why our country is divided, sake of politics. Now they're taking that to my village, to all the villages in Belize, and therefore that is why we always have back and forth. I was challenged out there yesterday by the PUPs and by the UDP. They were like basically on my back. I believe that they have a fear for it. I don't have nothing to offer the people except like giving away. All I have to offer my people in my village is love, and let me start the work back together again and start build our community as one community, one village, one people. I have a plan drawing up that I present to my people in my village. One of the most biggest steps that I want to take forward and get done immediately. We have a high school there. Right beside the high school, we have a public clinic. Right after the clinic, we have a primary school. My first step there's a bus stop. There's no speed bump there. There's no sign there said upcoming school. That's one of my first steps I want to do. So I want to see if I could put a meeting up with Mr. Marconi Leal, and we could sit down and talk and see what we could do together to put that speed bump in place.
Representatives of the government and Maya leaders of the South met today to try to rebuild a level of confidence between them in the ongoing case of the Maya land rights. The indigenous community had some months ago accused the government of trying to muscle its way with the implementation of a free prior informed consent protocol, the document by which both sides must operate. They have been at odds since 2015, and it went as far as the Caribbean Court of Justice, which has held compliance hearings to discuss the protocol. The meeting today was between the government on one side and representatives from the Toledo Alcaldes Association and the Julian Cho Society. While we could not get an update on how it ended, we did speak with Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Dolores Balderramos Garcia, going into the session on what the discussion would be about.
If you would have tuned in to the last compliance hearing on the 5th of May, there was talk of having to build back a relationship of confidence, because we have to admit that some of it broke down. Now, it doesn't mean that the government and the representatives of the appellants will come in all agreement and after tomorrow we'll be singing Kumbaya. But it does mean that a serious attempt will be made for us to try to come together. Again, we won't always agree, But I want to say on the part of the government that we are serious about trying to work with all partners.
Over the weekend, the Ministry of Rural Transformation, Community Development, Labor and Local Government issued a release on the Trade Licensing Bill 2022 to clarify what they say is erroneous and misleading representation on social media. It is a two-page document that highlights 11 points. Among the many questions being asked is whether roadside vendors will be taxed under the new regime. In the release, the ministry says the proposed bill does not levy any fees against this type of business. When it comes to taxes for onstage live performers and entertainers conducting concert performances, the ministry says these forms of engagements are to be declared by respective local authorities. But such fee is per event and should not exceed $200. This fee is not applicable to free and charitable events under the proposed bill. The bill was tabled for its first reading only and has been referred to the Political and Constitutional Reform Committee for consideration. Minister Oscar Requena gave this rationale for necessity of the new tax regime.
Why is a trade license necessary? It is necessary to allow for the local authority to regulate the conduct of trade within the local space, to allow for the protection of the public health and safety, to allow for the local authority to provide the necessary municipal services, and finally, to legitimize the applicant's privilege to conduct such trade within the local space. Madam Speaker, the goal is really to create an enabling environment for economic growth and facilitating business development in Belize as outlined under Plan Belize. And finally, Madam Speaker, this reform is in keeping with the Ministry's strategic commitment to reform and strengthen the legal and regulatory framework for the local government sector, advance the government's Plan Belize manifesto commitment, and to advance Goal 11 of the SDGs through creating sustainable communities.
When we return, Belizean Pennies Alex Evans advances to the semifinals of the Panograma competition. But first, here's a weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
This May will be amazing at Pennies. Get amazing deals and great gifts from Mom. We have Pyrex bakeware, Chicago cutlery knife sets, Corningware, Snapware, and the elegant yet durable Coral dinnerware sets at amazing prices. Check out our impressive line of Sankey appliances and much, much more. Take advantage of these amazing deals all May long, only at Pennies, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
We live in a world obsessed with the latest trends, fashions, and lifestyles, setting unrealistic expectations and wanting to alter everything about ourselves. How is this affecting our self-worth? What if we were able to silence all the noise and focus on what really matters? Join us right here for Sagebrush Church as we begin our new series, Identity Theft, where we will discuss how to live in a world with ever-changing standards of perfection.
Hospital Galenia cuenta con las 4 más importantes certificaciones hospitalarias en el mundo, incluyendo la certificación internacional AENOR, que avala las mejores prácticas para evitar la propagación del SARS-CoV-2 en los hospitales.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Reusable plastics. Did you know that until we find an alternative for plastic and all its uses, we will continue to need plastics, such as in the health sector? Plastic becomes a huge problem for Belize when it becomes waste and is improperly disposed of. When it is thrown on the side of the road and in our rivers and seas, it's eaten by animals and in turn by people, and it becomes an environmental and health issue. It costs us money for disposal, filling up dumps and landfills, and paying for associated healthcare. So what can you do? Choose to refuse single-use plastics is step 1. Step 2, instead, use the plastics that were meant to be reused, like coffee cups, water bottles, and food containers. We're not talking about buying a $1 bottle of water. I mean, you can, but how long will that last you? Reusable plastics keep plastics out of the environment for a much longer time and are even better than other forms of plastics like biodegradable or even compostable or bio-based plastics. By reusing, you are also saving money since you aren't rebuying the same thing over again. Think about it. How many bottles of water do you buy every week? How much does that cost compared to the cost of a reusable bottle? Imagine what you can do with the extra money. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Track and field athletes from across the country converged at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex for the Track and Field National Championship on Saturday and Sunday. The two-day event saw athletes of all ages with varying degrees of experience go head-to-head in a number of disciplines. In the end, there were those who medaled and those who, with a bit of disappointment, intend to train harder for the next year's championship. News 5's Paul Lopez was there on Saturday. He filed the following report, which highlights some of the competitors.
The Belize Athletic Association hosted its National Track and Field Championship over the weekend at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex. The event saw participation from Belizean athletes of all ages from across the country. One of the youngest runners to compete was 12-year-old Valerie Myers. We spoke with her about her participation in the 1500 meters race on Saturday.
It was more out of my comfort zone and more of a 3,000. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. But it was really good because you got to get the speed working one day or another.
Yeah. Now, when you're on the pitch and you're racing, what's running through your mind, especially when you know that someone is behind you and trying to catch up and even surpass you?
Just keep going. You got this. It's always gonna end. You'll have another day to pass them. Just work hard. Do your best. I've been training for 4 years, but I've only been training seriously since 6th grade because that's when a girl's body matures. So you gotta actually put in the work to fully stack up the levels to get to Olympic level.
In the shot put competition, 17-year-old Mia Sylvester is a force to be reckoned with. She currently holds 2 regional records in the event.
Well, one day I saw one of my friends throwing shot put and I said I want to try this sport.
And ever since I started this sport, I felt that it was my sport. I felt comfortable, and it took a lot of training, and yes, I have some bad days and good days, but in the end, it's all worth it. You have to have lots of coordination, speed, not just about strength, because many people think it's just about strength, but if all the coordination, the skill, the technique, the ball will not go as fast on a normal rock. So it's a lot to take in for consideration.
Mia says she plans to continue her training in order to maintain her preeminence outside of Belize. We also spoke with sisters Ashanti and Ashanti Carr. Both of them are currently pursuing bachelor's degrees in Jamaica. But on competition days like today, the books are shelved and the track and field spikes come out.
I specialize in the 4 and the 800 meter. I started when I was like 10 years old, but I started on the road with my dad and my mom for the 5K. The first time I faint. The second time, after that, I was dominant in the 5K, and that was my start. That's how I started with the 5K. I have always been a distance runner, and like a couple years ago, I started on the track. I started to specialize on the track, which is the 4 and the 800. I'm still getting there because I have a lot of slow twitch. Being that I'm a long distance runner, so I'm trying to develop speed. I specialize in long jump and triple jump, and I fell in love with the sport basically because we grew up in a house of sport, so that was kind of like that, and then school. So I developed the love for it because that's all basically we knew. We support each other 100%. So when she's competing, I'll be there. When I'm competing, she'll be there. But only way we won't be there for each other is if we're sick. But that's it.
With such a promising future for track and field in Belize, there is a general sentiment that greater investments in sporting facilities and athletes are needed now more than ever. Albert Davis, a long-distance runner who competed, gave us his views on this.
We can do much more. We are not doing enough for our athletes here in Belize. We do much more. You understand? And that's our problem here in Belize. We as athletes, we can only do so much. You understand me? It's left up to those higher in power to invest in us and give us what we need. Because, for example, me, I don't run now. I just don't run. I have to work. Plus, when I'm off work, I do farming as well. You understand me? So I am a coast guard. I do farming. I have my family. You understand me? Just because I love running, that's why I continue.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Concerned Belizean athletes, a group reportedly made up of local athletes, is calling the leadership of Dion Sutherland, the president of the Belize Athletic Association, into question. On May 5, 2022, the group wrote to World Athletics, the Central American Isthmus Athletic Confederation, and the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association, accusing Sutherland of victimizing and oppressing athletes. In the letter, the group of unnamed individuals referred to the April 2nd Belize Athletics Association's elections as, quote, rigged and riddled with conflicts of interest, unquote. They accuse Sutherland of, quote, using his power to handpick the voters for any election that he himself is contesting, unquote. The group is calling on the international track and field community for assistance. We asked Sutherland for a response when we caught up with him on Saturday at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex.
I would say that yes, there are concerns out there, but I'm confident in the process that was followed, and I'm confident in the election itself. We went by the Constitution, and prior we had two legal challenges to the membership prior to the election, and that's why the election was delayed, and those were diffused. So I have no doubt that whatever comes up will be the same. No position is for life. You know, it's what the people want. So if that's what the people want, then the people decide. And as far as I know, on April 2nd, the people decided.
Alexander Evans made it to the semifinals of the Panograma competition. Evans played a rendition of Love 1TT, the popular 2020 Afrobeat song by CK. He amassed 78.3 points, placing ninth in the top 20 semifinalists. The preliminaries were aired on Sunday, May 8th in the United States, Canada, and countries across the Caribbean. Here's a look at Evans's performance at the prelims, courtesy Panograma.
We are heading to Belize, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Panograma is going to be represented from a Belizean, and he actually has studied musical arts at the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus. He is the head of Belize's Carry Festa contingent in 2019, and his name is Alexander Evans. Afro beats.
See what I'm saying?
Afro beats. CK Love One TT. Oh, I love this one. We're getting some Belize, we're getting some Nigeria. I can't wait to see what Mr. Evans has for us. Panograma is rolling up and running. Let's see what Mr. Evans has for us.
An eclipse occurs 2 to 5 times a year. You can catch one depending on what part of the world you are. Our story for tonight is about Sunday night's lunar eclipse that Belizeans all across the country were able to witness. We spoke with Angelica Guy at the National Meteorological Service, who gave us a brief insight into Sunday night's occurrence. Here's that interview with some images of the eclipse, courtesy a few local photographers.
Lunar eclipse, or an eclipse on the whole, because you have lunar and solar eclipses, right? The lunar eclipses are more visible with the naked eye, while you would need special glasses to view a solar eclipse. Eclipses on the whole occur when you have the Earth, Moon, and Sun aligning, so that they can set up perfectly to block the light from one or the other, either from the Earth or from the Moon. According to brief research, eclipses occur very often. Every year they have a few eclipses occurring around the world. It just depends on location and how the alignment occurs and where you're located in the world.
Now,
and they also have different types of eclipse. They have the partial and total. Last night we had a total lunar eclipse.
Just ahead, celebrating Cashew Fest 2022 when we return.
Yeah, I know him from before he in my womb. From I know he nobody ever disrespected him. Because then he is who he is. He is gay, he is friendly, and everybody respectable. Just respect him for who he is. In a human being. Just the word hate means to me that no got no meaning because you're not for hate. If I love everything, I appreciate. I live in Dominicana, I live around Guatemalans, Hondurans, Spanish, Maya, Creole, Garifuna. As I said, growing up, right? They say love your neighbors. Neighbor need to look out for one another.
National Agriculture and Trade Show is back. Visit the Next Gen booth for exclusive deals and discount on our Next Gen service bundles, high-speed internet, and more. Come experience a cinema setup and watch the Champions League finals on a big screen. We're bringing you great service and entertainment to the 2022 showgrounds. We'll see you there. The Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
As the country returns to the pre-pandemic way of life, there is a resurgence of concerts, unimpeded movement, and fun-filled family activities. Small entrepreneurs were significantly affected by the slowdown of economic activities as events like food and cultural festivals were on pause. But now these festivals are back on schedule, and popular events like Tacos Festival, Lobster Fest, and more are being planned across the country. Over the weekend, the Crooked Tree Village came to life again as the popular and delicious Cashew Festival returned. 2 days of people enjoying cashew in all forms. News 5's Dwayne Moody was there and found out that the 2-year break has not been all that bad.
The pandemic wasn't nice to us at all. But we survived and we're here after 2 years.
After a 2-year hiatus, the annual Crooked Tree Cashew Fest was back on the agenda of activities this weekend. People from all over the country converged in the village to experience village life, the amazing fire hot foods, and the various cashew products. Chef Sean Quillen was among those who attended.
Taking a fruit and turning it into a masterpiece. But you know what? These villagers have been doing that for years and years. And actually, when not with about food, I'm the food man and I love culture and people. I call it people, food and culture. And this is everything that you could, my whole life is right here. So I love this bus. And pandemic, everybody tired of hear that word. It may grandpa pass to 2 or 3 years. And everybody just happy for the out here again. Listen, right there back at me, they got cashew fudge, cashew wine, cashew stew, cashew oatmeal cookie, cashew bread. And I'm with some, I see some foreigners over here. I see one of them, they laugh at me right now. She never know cashew, that one fruit. It's called the devil fruit. That's the only one of them, over a few fruit in the whole world that they see they actually outside, right? So all they know about a planter's brand in cashew and nut, but we have it as a fruit.
Verna Samuels of Bird's Eye View Jams and Jellies was out in full force. Every and any cashew product you could think about was on sale. Samuel says that this year there were issues with sourcing the fruit.
We have the cashew cake, black and white. We have cashew oatmeal cookies, cashew fudge. Then we have cashew bread and bun. And the difference between the bun and the bread, of course, the bun is sweet, but it has the fruit and it has the nut. But the bread only have the nut. This year, I don't know if it's just the pandemic or if it's the change in the weather, and even the fruit trees seem to be confused right now. So the cashews didn't do so well. But what happened is they produce good seeds, but not good fruit. And we mostly work with the fruit. So we're a little bit disappointed with that part of it. So we had to use our thinking cap and turn things around a little, and so, you know, we still came up with some products.
One businesswoman who is always at the Cashew Fest is Anna Quiroz with her delicious wines. While she was affected by the pandemic, Quiroz says that she developed new flavors that have been aged longer during the time. For $12 and $14, you can get a bottle of wine.
People is sampling everything, but we have some new products here. We have like the hog plum wine. People going crazy for that right now, and the sea grape. And I know you like the sea grape wine. That's your favorite, right? But like my blackberry, because we have been locked down for so long. I have some blackberry here that is over 4 years, and cashew, 4 years. I make my wines pretty good, not too sweet, not too dry, and so people like it like that, especially when they have to drink it now out in the sun. We have like 9 different varieties out here today, and I have more, you know, because I make like guava, the nanchi, which is a crabu. I make which other one I make home that I didn't bring, the cassava. We have different.
Get them now before they finish.
Yes.
When you have a 2-year break, you get to think about some things more deeply. So we came up with a few new products like the cashew syrup, and we have improved on it. I mean, we love how it came out, and you know, it's good for like pancakes, waffles, fried jacks, and also the pineapple sweet and sour pepper sauce.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The Costa Maya festival usually takes place in August of each year, but during the COVID-19 pandemic, plans for that crowd-calling event had to be put on hold. But with all COVID restrictions lifted, there was seemingly an expectation that the event would be revived this year. For whatever reason, the festival won't be held. San Pedro Mayor Gualberto Nunes clarified that it was none of his doing.
Well, there has been some allegations about the Costa Maya that the council doesn't want to do the Costa Maya this year, and that is false allegations. Marian, since the day we got into office, we have been doing different events to boost the local economy. So we don't have any intentions of doing anything negative to impact our community. We're trying to do more, actually. It was never the council that spearheaded the Costa Maya Festival previously. It was a private committee, which I have utmost respect for them. They had it for many years. I think it was over 30 years that they planned the Costa Maya, and it was members of both parties. Nobody from the Costa Maya committee or the previous committee has ever reached out to us that they want to continue with the festival. There hasn't been any sort of communication from their part. So I don't know why there is this allegation that we don't want to do the Maya festival.
Mayor Nunes told us that in the interest of drawing business to the island, the council has gone ahead to plan San Pedro Day, or Dia de San Pedro.
We decided that this year we wanted to go big with the Dia de San Pedro festivities, because that's our day, that's our patron's day, that Dia de San Pedro Day, that we want to make a festival. And that's why we decided to go with that. We would really want to see more and more events happening. We know that BTB has a plan for September. August, September, and October are usually the slowest months for the tourism here on the island. So if we're having something in September, which is a really slow month, we're going to have a festival for BTB, and we're also planning for our September celebrations.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.